Well then. All right. So I have a feeling, EFT, you have been waiting for this for a long time. Future Guns Go Bird. Well, it's finally time. It's finally time. It's finally time we discuss about the A Fight for All series. Let's do this. All right. So the main theme of what I want in the A Fight for All series is number one, I want a brand new protagonist, but I also want a brand new antagonist. So I think of using Carson, the son of Colin, as the brand new protagonist, but also adding a far distant relative to one of the main antagonists, like Rico, Gothias, or Perseus Kelter. If I can do this, if I could pull this off properly with the lore I've already written, I could make a whole new story and make a sequel to everything of what I've just done. I have been preparing this for a long time, and I will release the date of when the first parts of this sequel to A Fight for All in the chat right now. That is the set in stone date. If it's executed properly, it'll go up. Yeah, that's what I'm planning. I'm planning to add more worlds, better technology. I plan to do much more world building this time, and I also plan to make more connections with the characters. Like, did you read the first story? How I started connecting the characters, connecting the dots to stories, and even adding in like variant X, similar to mass viruses and all this. I've done so much in that series, but I know I can do much better. And I know I've been getting those. Yeah. I plan to, in essence, make a zombie apocalypse on one of the worlds that Variant X is stored on. They're going to meddle around with the Variant X and they're going to try to create something in one way to create it as a terrorist weapon. Turns out the group had no idea what they were getting into. Yeah, with the virus and all that. They would have no idea what they're getting into, and they just wipe out the population of the planet. Hundreds of millions, potentially billions of people gone out of nowhere. And now nations around the galaxy have to come in to hold this planet, make sure those zombies don't leave the planet. That's where the first story comes into play. I feel like that's going to be the very, very first part of the trilogy of the three that are going to be coming. The second part is going to be rebuilding that planet and just making more story building, dealing with pirates, and then going to places that are very, very poor. Billions of people used to live here. Now it's a gross war. Okay. Okay. But after that, there's going to be a lot of changes to the Judkins Enterprises, the JE, and the United Planets. I've never seen anything like it. Well, well, you're about to. If that's the case, then you are about to witness the biggest change in A Fight for All history, because by the third part of the first trilogy, I plan on making my character, Cody, from that series into the antagonist. I plan on it. Guess the reference? Yeah, I know what the reference is. Blacktop, aka Troopman. I know you. But in all seriousness, I plan on expanding the series completely. And April 30th is going to be the day that everything gets expanded. The Fight for All series, the lore gets expanded, everything just gets expanded. And as long as people actually read and like what I'm doing, I will keep starting to keep building. Yeah. Pulling up. Yeah. I also plan, if you also know, I also used some elements of other movies to give an idea on what I want in all these scenes. So most of the stuff that has actually happened is technically predictable. Yes, I am the prototype for the antagonist. Yes. But I also plan for someone in my family to be the protagonist. Basically, I have to fight one of my family members, either Colin or Carson. And this is going to be a big turn of events because we're going to be fighting, and then there's going to be a bigger opponent. Well, not, I would say a bigger, but I guess a scarier opponent come into play, and we both have to physically take him down. If we can't, billions of lives are on the line. So this is going to be similar to the Cold War mixed with the Intersolar War. It's going to be a massive conflict again, and then there's just going to be all hell breaks loose. People fight everywhere, probably millions of deaths without a problem. There would just be chaos everywhere. What does one? Who's got the plot armor this time? There, there's going to be no plot armor this time. Meaning is, if you get hurt in this series now, there's no more plot armor. The gloves, the plot armor gloves, took off. They're gone. It means now I can die, Colin can die, Carson can die, my wife Catherine can die, Chelsea can die. There's so many people that can die this time. And I want the sequel to be incredibly costly. People lose a lot of lives. I want this to be a big finisher or a potential finisher to the entirety of the series. But that doesn't mean I'm going to stop creating. Everyone can die triple split shit. Yeah, that makes sense. The funny thing about that is if I keep creating people just to die, people are going to be like, well, we don't have any character development. Yeah, that's why I want uh, Carson to grow up first before the events of the sequel to occur. So between, I'm going to have a date where I'm about to release the date in chat. This is where you will get the first lore and the first look into years after the final events of the series, which is basically like 2, 3 decades after. So this is going to be whole new revamp, whole new technology. I've already told you the technology they have now. Well, imagine it 20, 30 years in the future. Technology is just going to keep going up and up until they find a way to stop it. This is not easy to do, but you know what? This is a series that people really, really like. So y'all like it. I got it. Yeah. That's kind of the trope of the entirety of it. However, there's going to be some major twists. There's going to be major fault lines between family members. Could be major breakups. There's going to be so many. Pretty understandable. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of different fights, different duel scenes where certain enemies go against others. This is going to be a whole other revamp of the original series. Imagine the original series and then you rack that up to 10. That's basically what I'm doing for this second part. And if I can make a 3 series event, meaning is this is only the second sequel series, I can make a whole nother, but I'd have to make it somewhere far in the future when I'm actually old and I remember all the events, what happened hundreds, maybe over 1,000 years ago. It would be the OG series, but everyone is made of paper type vulnerable. Ugh, yeah, no. If that was the case, everyone would have been dead. That's facts. That everyone would be on the table to die within 10 minutes. They'd all die. There would be no way anyone would survive the conflict. I know you've also seen my UNSC Halo conflicts. I know you've seen that because I've had a couple. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I plan on basing the UNSC and United Planets fight. I plan to just use that as the original series, not the sequel. So that's why you won't see many of the brand new technologies because they're just getting vamped out. They're just getting spit out, like the exosuits, the mega exosuits, the Nemesis class dreadnought. There are so many different things that are getting released at that time of the conflict. So that's why I'm saying the UNSC doesn't have a chance at fighting them in a long term. Sarcasm can bring a war. Yeah, I actually tried making that with realism because I knew that the wrong words being said and the wrong actions being taken can lead to devastating losses. And I pointed that out in that series. That's why the ODSTs that were captured, well, not captured, but controlled by Oni, they attacked the base to see what would happen, and it didn't end too well because the ships that got put back in orbit just got pummeled, and now the UNSC lost nearly half of their fleet within the first few battles. So, yeah, it didn't end too well for the UNSC. Well, it wasn't Johnson's actions that actually caused the war. Believe it or not, if you paid attention when you read, it wasn't Johnson's actions that caused the war, but it was the ODST's actions to alert officers to fire upon the base. So it wasn't Johnson's fault that the war started, but he's going to have to finish it because he's a soldier. He has to. And I think he'll learn in the end that Oni and the UNSC, both of them are very corrupt. Wallace Jenkins. Oh, I have something for Wallace. And I don't know if you'll like it or not, but we'll just find out. The only thing I'm really gonna say right now is Wallace is gonna survive through a lot of the war. Does that mean he's gonna die? Who knows? All I'm gonna say is that he's gonna survive through multiple battles. Oh, flood, huh? Well, here's the thing. The year is 2503. The UNSC first met the flood between 2040 to 2540 to 2550. So that's how many of them knew that there was something there, but they couldn't explain it. So this is about 3 to 4 decades out of that. So they wouldn't even know the flood. Hell, they wouldn't even know the covenant existed. All they know is that they exist, and now that there's these humans attacking their nation, and now they have to fight back. So to be honest with everything of what I've done, Wallace is probably going to survive the war. So he's probably going to live to easily surpass and live through the war. I don't see him dying. I don't see Sergeant Johnson dying either. So the problem is now Miranda Keys is going to have to take over for Captain Keys. Now we've got a massive problem because the higher command for the UNSC is going to get taken out, and they're already being taken out on Erdonis too. So this is going to be a big fight. This is going to be a slugfest, just people throwing their weight and hoping to God it knocks the other person down. Yeah, that's kind of the main point. So the main goal I want with this series is they're going to invade Eridanis. They're going to find Reach's coordinates, and they're going to attack Reach with a vast force of over 200 ships and possibly tens of millions of soldiers. Yeah, find it in YouTube. Yeah, I know. By doing by fighting on Eridanis and the other planets, insurrectionists are going to take control of the worlds. So the UNSC would have to fight insurrectionists and United Planets forces. Eventually, they would team up and they would try to attack the Earth, which is where that battle's going to be the costliest battle of the war. The only thing I'll say is that Earth's cannons in orbit, they're gone. They'll be gone. Antimatter missiles blows them up one shot. Gone. They don't exist anymore. So a fight for all has got plenty of time and space to grow. You want to see all units be advised you have unknown hostiles on the radar, Sailor. Then they realize it's like an 11-kilometer before getting shredded. Yeah, that's kind of how it would be. They just see this massive 11-kilometer long ship just exit from its FTL drive right above them. And it wasn't just any ship, but it was the UNSC Pillar of more like some massive ship that just gets powered over, and it looks so small comparison wise. But the Nemesis Dreadnought, I plan on making that ship into a powerful beast. In this series, you're going to learn how much this thing can take. This is going to be very useful for other types of war I can create. The UNSC has no way of taking down big ships from us. But the destroyers, frigates, and even cruisers and small ships, they can easily take those down. But the bigger ones, they got to worry about. Those things would wreck their shit within seconds. And it showed in the beginning of the first battle. We're probably putting the blame on Sergeant Johnson. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's just how it is. That's how the UNSC and ONI is, man. That's just how it is. They like to put the blame on others because it's not only easier, but it's more efficient that way. Because think about it. If you fire cannons, if your soldiers tell you, hey, we're being attacked, we need to fire our cannons, and you fire them and you realize they weren't attacking us, AFFA victims, yeah. If they weren't attacking you, you basically got yourself into a hole that you can't dig yourself out of. And the only way to really get out of that scenario is to blame it on the person closest to that hole. Hence, Sergeant Johnson. He couldn't be blamed because he was actually trying to make relations with the people. Sergeant Johnson, meh, he was disrespectful at first, but after a while he understood what was going on. But it was the handful of ODSTs that caused the vast problem. Telling his officers, hey, we're being attacked on the ground. We need more assistance on the ground. So they just start blasting their cannons. Yeah, asshole victims indeed. The only other problem I have with the series so far is where I'm going to lead it. Am I going to lead it to Eridanis to reach, and then I'm going to start immediately hitting everything we've got with UNSC worlds? Or do we just go straight for Earth and end the conflict there? I've been thinking a little bit of both, where there's a lot of uprisings, a lot of revolts in the inner, middle, and outer colonies. Many worlds break away from the UNSC, and then massive wars fought between those worlds in the UNSC. So we leave before we even get to Earth, or we do get to Earth, cause a lot of distress on the planet, and then just entirely leave the planet. There's so many different things we could do. There's so many different things. But yet at the same time, there's so many things that I could do better for the series. Imagine if there was okay, Mercs won't be able to do anything because because they're gonna kill Steel. Wow. Okay, yeah, that's probably what would happen. I'm gonna be rude to you, Chief. That is exactly what would happen. But in all seriousness, though, if the UNSC really would get into a conflict and a long conflict, they would lose a lot of people. They've already lost over 100,000 sailors in a single battle. That is not good. That is not a good loss. to kill ratio. Oh Jesus! You killed a single destroyer, while out of that fucking 50 ships you had, like 6 or 7 lived. To put that into perspective, out of a 50 ship armada from the Covenant, if they attack that, only 80% of the ships would be gone. Problem is, my ships do a near kill death to a near kill incapacitate ratio of 90%, even better than the Covenant. So if we actually had numbers like the Covenant, the UNSC would be fine. Does that mean our ships are better than the Covenant? Probably not. But the tactics and the decent advance in technology, that would be enough to significantly change the course of battle for years to come. I would definitely say Earth would be screwed if a massive armada went to it. End of Earth. Gone. Is there any, so you have any questions about the A Fight for All series that you want answered? Because I have a bunch of questions that you gave me. Just need to answer them. If you guys want any questions answered about the A Fight for All series, I do indeed planning on making a brand new parts of the series. And the first lore of that series will be released on April 2nd. The reason why not April 1st, because it's April Fool's Day. Come on. I'm releasing it on Good Friday for a good reason. See what I did there? I'm releasing it on Good Friday because it's the luckiest day in terms of Christian value, because my old family members were Christians. And so this is going to be about family. This is going to be about the family, how people age. So the connections, I do a lot of connections with all of my stories. So for people who are very new here, there's at least a double meaning to every single action I take. There is a double meaning. So I try to make it as double meaning as possible to have multiple reasons to do something and to bring things up from a past. So I plan on creating a trailer, some sort of trailer for the sequel to the A Fight for All series. Then on April 2nd, that trailer is going to come out along with the lore of the beginning of the series. I already put out lore after the original, so the only thing I really need to do is fix that up a bit, resend it, and then create the trailer. So if you guys really love the series so far, make sure you at least follow on the story. I don't even care if you subscribe to me. I could care less, but if you guys are watching this video, yeah, I'll see you later, Blacktop. Blacktop Gun Hot. So we got. How did I do that? But if you have any questions about any of the A Fight for All series, man, just link it in the comments. That's all I'm gonna have to say for now. Just keep watching the Fight for All series. Trailer is going to be coming out April 2nd, so I plan on making it a great trailer. So any comments would be nice. Take